All right, prayer group, prayer experiment group today. This is the third part, and I've come up with some questions that we can explore another aspect of prayer today by asking our guides about it. So when Jesus has taught introduction to prayer back in 2012, and I love to read the transcript for this particular chapter, for this particular topic, because I like to slow down and go into it. So anyway, this one is, it's 2009, 16th May 2009. And so you can see in the outline there's some really good topics to talk about. Maybe we can all read or watch this for our next group. But with prayers, we tend to pray for the effect. Something's happened and we're having a certain outcome and we're distressed by the outcome. So we're praying about the effect. But Jesus says on this topic that God will assist us in addressing the cause, not the effect. So I'm curious about what that means and how to explore how to get our guides to help us with the cause. And so for today, I have 3 questions that we can explore. Question 1 is, what prayer will help us the most from our guides? What do our guides think? What prayers our guides believe will help us the most? And then we can do some experimenting with the prayer. What prayer can be asked if I'm addressing the cause? So we could pick an issue that we have, something simple, doesn't have to be too heavy or too public. And then we can start experimenting with, like, if we were to ask for the cause, what kind of prayers could we even come up with? Maybe our guides can give us some examples of the many ways you could be asking about the cause. And then we can ask, what prayers can we do when we're praying for others? What kind of prayers can we pray when we're praying for others, and see what kind of guidance our guides can give us to, mentor us, basically, to teach us how to pray. So let's, anything pressing about your prayer experience so far in the other groups? Or questions of some concerns? I also thought about asking about fears that we have about prayers. But now I'm sidetracked with these questions. So let's ask our guides, what prayers will help us the most? Prayer, yes, plural tense. You don't have to stop at one. Okay. Who wants to go first? Virginia, thank you.
Might as well. I don't know why this surprised me, but it surprised me that I've never prayed for it. Well, I'm wanting to forgive myself. And I obviously have some blocks with that, but I've never prayed for it because I feel like because it's forgiving myself, that only I can do it myself. Like, I don't know why. I was thinking that. It's like, why are you not praying for this?
Yeah.
Get assistance with it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a beautiful one. Thank you. Okay, who's next? Michaela?
I just want to say I haven't stopped all day and I didn't sleep well at all. And now that I've stopped, I feel tired. So I'm not fully participating in this. I apologize.
Yeah, okay.
So I got to know God's feelings for me, and to keep going with the believing in God, and that I will get to that point where I really do believe.
Okay.
And to let go of the guilt story and the self-punishing story.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can pray about that. You can pray like Victoria said. Yeah, Pray to
Yeah.
help me release. Yeah, that's beautiful. Help me release guilt. Help me stop self-punishing. Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Casey.
So I really felt encouraged to kind of continue doing what I'm doing. I've started to engage more of my curiosity
Yeah.
prayer over the last few months. And so I've started doing things like asking more questions. Like you talk a
Yes.
lot about asking questions all the time. And I really appreciate that framework, by the way, because I didn't realize how often I'm starting to do it. And that's what they're encouraging. So if I have a pain or I was unwell a few weeks ago, like why is this specific thing hurting, or where is this coming from in me, like what is the cause of this, uh,
Yeah.
or what do I not want to feel, what
Yeah.
am I denying, those sorts of things. I've already started asking those sorts of questions, so I really felt being encouraged to ask more of that, keep going down that line of questioning to seek the cause.
Okay. Beautiful. Thank you. Jill, do you want to share?
I had a little problem with this question. So I don't,
Oh, are you mute, Jill? You're mute. I don't know how that happened.
sorry. Sorry about that. I said I had a lot of problems with it. Maybe I don't know where, if I turned on mute, but anyways, I said I had a lot of problems with this and I'm not too sure where to start, but I got like talked directly to God. And um I felt very blocked to this question. And I feel like I've been praying a lot in the last couple days,
Okay.
and I've been getting a lot of memories and a lot of like I asked her like where does this come from? Where like what is the cause? I think I've been asking like what is the cause? I
Sweet.
didn't think I was asking that. But so I've been getting a lot of memories, but I haven't been able to go into the feelings of it. So I think that's where I'm blocked. And that's, I got that, ask us to help you feel and ask us to help you desire to feel.
Sweet.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of where I got for that.
Okay. So the prayer would be, God, please help my guides, help me feel. God, please help my guides, help me with my desire. Or
Yeah.
actually, you can just ask God, please help me feel, and then your guides will be allowed to help anyway. So, right, you can just ask God for what you want, and your guides will. Then,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Mine was, when I asked earlier in the afternoon, the answer was, how can I deepen my relationship with God? Good prayer to pray about how can I deepen my relationship. This time I got to pray for help so that I can feel God's love for me and to feel God's feeling of my worth. I could pray for that. So, okay. Welcome, Michael. Okay, so moving on to this next question. This is where we are now kind of like in a lab, kind of playing around. So what prayers can be asked if we're addressing the cause of an issue? So I decided that we could all just pick an issue. For example, my lungs are kind of holding. They're not getting worse. They're not getting better. They're holding. So I'm like, okay, things need to move a little bit more with my lungs. So then I'm going, well, what prayers can I be asking to address the cause of my lungs being unhealthy? What kind of prayers can I be asking? So this way you guys can help you brainstorm. Well, if you're asking for the cause, you're praying about releasing the cause, because the lungs are the effect. They're the consequence. They're the result of whatever the causes are. So if I want to deal with the lungs, I got to deal with the cause of it. That's what the prayers are useful for, asking for the cause. So I was thinking of that. Do you guys have an issue that you guys, something small, something not too big, but pick something so that we can do the question. Pick something. What would you like? More energy, better health, or something specific. That's why I picked specific. Lungs. What would you guys like to pick?
Sorry, I wasn't sure that you wanted us to share that. Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Let's do it.
I can go. So I've been having issues with my Achilles tendon on
yeah.
my right foot pulling too hard. I'm
Okay.
going to ask about that.
Okay. So that would be, what prayers can I ask? What can I pray about if I want to address the cause of the Achilles? So that, because it could be straightforward that you could just be, what's the cause of it? But maybe our guides have other ideas of other ways of addressing the issue. Virginia, do you have something in mind?
Yeah, I'm curious about this inflammation after I had COVID that's developed in my right hand and my just a couple of my knuckles that I'm feeling. It's pushing swelling, and I'm just wondering, because I've been asking but not really getting anywhere.
Yeah.
But I'm asking about, I've been a lot more concerned about the effects.
Yeah.
Because that affects
fair enough. Yeah.
me being able to work. So yeah, so I need to reframe that and ask about it.
Actually ask, what could I be praying for in order to address the cause? To actually leave, so that they can train us about what to pray and how to pray. And when I tried this question with a different topic earlier, I got a couple of different answers, and then there was one that dropped me straight into grief. And I felt like, oh, that's what I'm really asking for. A lot of emotions in that prayer. That's what I'm actually praying for. So it really helped to kind of brainstorm. Jill?
Well, the thing that's on the top of my brain is my job.
Yeah.
So that's at the top of my brain.
Okay.
But also my back, because that's something that's been chronic for a while.
Could
and
be
I
the same
kind of
answer.
What's that?
Could be the same answer.
Well, I was just thinking that, like, it was like jaw back. I'm like, oh, hang on a second. I think they're together. I think it's they're intertwined together. So I'm keeping it as my back job.
Yep, that's awesome. How fascinating. That'd be awesome. All right,
Yeah.
Michael, do you have a topic that you could want to? Yeah.
A small one would be, I've had I've had to clear my throat for 6 weeks since COVID. So it's part of the otherwise I could tackle my heart attack from like 7 years ago. But this one,
let's pick something small, which may end up being the biggest thing. It's always surprising when you're like, tiny little thing. No, it's that thing. But let's pick the throat. Yeah. Okay. Michaela, do you have something?
I don't think they're tiny, but it's what's come to mind. It's either like my son's breathing issues.
Yeah.
That's not tiny though. I mean,
that's okay, but it's in your face. It's here
definitely.
Now. Definitely.
I want to do that.
Okay, let's do that. So the question is, what prayers could I be asking if I'm addressing the cause of that issue? You're asking your guides to mentor you on it, on ideas and choices and what kind of prayers you could be asking for. Okay, see you in a bit. I hope it worked. Whatever it is I'm trying to do, I hope it worked. All right, who wants to go? Casey?
Yeah, I definitely got some stuff that I didn't expect.
Okay.
So I have and this was, I really felt that this is just kind of the tip of it. This is just what they want me to start with first.
Okay.
I have a huge fear of not being able to walk.
Okay.
And so they
Huh.
want me to start with that. To start
Okay.
with, so the first prayer is, please help me feel through my fears about losing the ability to walk.
Okay.
Um, and then I also have a lot of judgments about being disabled and having to rely on other people for my well-being. And that was the next prayer that they suggested, is please help me feel through the judgments I have about being disabled or not an able person. And then the third one is please help me feel through the demands that I put on myself of being a good housekeeper. Yeah.
Okay.
And that those
Okay.
that were like, that's it. For now. That's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And you could, like, when you get a whole list of this, you could pick one that you're like, I'm gonna start with that one, and
Mhm.
just go with it. They're
Well,
just giving you.
sorry, and I felt like there was like in each one of those, there's like uh, yeah. So I was like, that's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh. Okay. Thank you. Who's next? Michaela?
So I got not so much like sentences, but more like how to create the scene for it.
Oh,
And
okay.
so it was about not judging what I'm praying about first, and
Okay.
then reaching to God, but
Okay.
also to generate the feelings that I'm feeling about the thing that I'm asking about. So it gave breathing.
Yeah. Okay.
And then allowing like the God's light to come in around those feelings and to verbalize, to just speak
Okay.
whatever being
Yeah.
triggered. And I had a sense of my 2-year-old self in a big tantrum. So
Okay.
it was somehow related to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really good. That's the feeling about the issue is what drives the prayer and drives the response. And then,
And pushing it towards God, like
yeah.
always somehow creating a link in it with
Wow.
God.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. That's beautiful. Who's next? Jill.
So not so little. So I immediately dropped into insecurity.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think we've talked about that before. But it's not that my pain is very central. So it's not on either right side or left side. So it's like very central. But I want to blame my dad.
Okay.
And can't out of guilt. So there's the guilt aspect that kind of sort of lays over top of it. But I'm in this particular issue, I'm constantly in fight mode. So instead of flight or fight, or constantly in fight. So any anything that kind of goes wrong in this area, either I'm in more pain, or as far as something goes wrong in my job, I want to fight. Like I want to come out guns barreling kind of thing. And I'm angry, obviously, and want to fight. Because I feel like I have to constantly justify who I am and what I'm doing. And then after that, I kind of dropped into that. I'm constantly looking to not disappoint. And then I kind of got into that I'm a disappointment and I'm a failure in my dad's eyes. So, and that's kind of where we all stopped.
Okay. Okay. So you actually, so now you can ask for what can I pray for about that issue?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I don't think I actually got into the prayer of it. I got into more of the cause of it,
Yeah. It's
or at
awesome.
least the
Yeah.
start of the
Yeah.
cause of it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
then once you're there, you can now go, so now what do I do with this feeling
Right.
that I feel I'm disappointed to my dad? What can I pray for about this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. That's good work. Thank you. Michael, do you want to go? Yeah.
I had two items and then it was quiet. The first one was just speaking truth. That one came before I could put up any defenses to it.
Snuck it in. Got it. Okay.
And and then I remembered within the past couple of days I've had the feeling that I'm not, like, I feel like I'm hiding, like maybe
Okay.
hiding from God or hiding from myself or from people, and I'm not
Yeah.
genuine. So I think the two are linked. So one came and then my own memory brought up the second one.
Okay. It's like, for example, this is where you've been doing.
You already know this. Yeah.
Okay. And when it comes to truth, you can just be by yourself towards God. Just, you're just speaking the truth to yourself to start. Could even just be to yourself that you just, like what Michaela got, start to verbalize, start to say, and the feelings will start to come out. And you can have, I will say one thing, which is a truth, but then I will say, but then while I'm at it, I'm also feeling this, this, and this, and this. I will name the whole conflict, which are all like counter emotions. And then I'll tell myself, oh, now I'm going to judge myself for that particular emotion. I'm going to judge myself for that addiction. Can't do that. So it grows and grows and grows. And it really helps to do that. Yeah. Thank you. Virginia, do you want to share?
Mine was really about me accepting and being open to that I need to look at the blocks that I have.
Okay.
I'm patient, and I think that I just want to get to the cause and not even consider you have blocks here for this. And I've noticed this lately. I've been annoyed with myself in the sleep state, because when I've asked for something, I'm getting shown the blocks that I have to it. But I wanted this,
Yeah.
and you give me that.
That's beautiful.
Annoyed, but this is something that I really, that I can pray for, that I need to accept.
Yeah.
And just pray to, like, what blocks do I have to really understanding and getting to the cause here.
Okay.
And that,
Well,
however long it takes is however long it takes, right? I'm putting a lot of pressure on time and wanting to be done before I start.
Okay.
Yeah.
The emotions themselves are usually not a problem. You only have to focus on the blocks, and then the emotion just flow. It's not a problem. So the emotion by themselves can be just fine. The blocks are the key.
Right.
So
That's
you
why
could even,
I don't.
sorry?
But there's many of them.
Yeah, well, and the blocks tend to, once you've dealt with a block for one issue, now that same block is dealt with all the issues. So that one block
Okay,
is
I see what
applied
you
to, yeah, very useful use of your time.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, thank you. So I got a pretty long list. I could ask for my lungs, why am I stuck? Why do I want sick lungs? Why am I punishing myself by having lung issues? What am I denying about myself that is causing lung issues? Why am I so angry with myself that I don't let myself breathe? Why can't I breathe? What am I terrified of that I don't want to breathe into my diaphragm, because I'm basically doing panic, shallow breathing. I'm panting, and it's a panic breath. If you just look at the breath and don't think about the lungs, what I'm doing is a hyperventilating. It's a panic. I don't want to go into my diaphragm. So I basically got 6 different things that could be praying about for the lungs. But it was interesting that they want me to focus on, why are you so angry with yourself that you don't even let yourself breathe? What? So that was interesting. Yeah. And then I actually started to get some truth that there is nothing so unforgivable about what I've done that I think is unforgivable, that it wasn't my fault. I'm not bad. I'm always loved. And that my guides are with me. So they kind of gave me that little bit of affirmation at the end. So that must be related to the issues I'm denying. So that was awesome. So basically I could pick any of those prayers to focus on and just go in. So the next question I decided to ask is, what prayers can we do when we're praying for others? Have our guides give us some ideas, mentor us. So let's go ask that. What prayers can we do when we're praying for others? Or however you want to phrase it. My English is, for some reason, regressing lately. All right. We're kind of doing some theory work today. We're kind of exploring the ideas that we can actually have some training, some mentorship from our guides about what to pray about, how to pray. So I know it's a bit heady, but I'm kind of introducing some concepts that we haven't really done before. Yeah, to even think about even asking these questions. So yeah, let's see what happens. Okay. Answers, anybody want to start? Michael?
I had the usual ones, and then I had one that had a little bit of juice to it. So
Okay.
the usual ones were to pray for someone's strength and desire, and may they see the law of attraction and law of compensation and stuff like that. But then I wonder, what do I have that's similar to their prayer need? Why am I resonating to somebody else's prayer need?
Nice. Yeah.
I think there's something there that I wouldn't normally think about.
Yeah, that's awesome. Because then when you start working through it, it will start to change something for them. It can. That's what I've heard. So that's a good one. But then praying for God to help them have, what was it? To be able to see truth about their law of attraction, law of compensation. Those are good prayers. Don't minimize that. That's powerful. They're getting truth. That's handing them power back into their hands. Because now they know they can do something about it. Yeah, good one. Thank you. Others? Yeah.
I tend to pray for others to receive God's divine love.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, well, is that possible? Can I ask for that for somebody else? Or does it have to be, I mean, they have to want to too, right? And then I was questioning whether I should be, if I pray for that, if that is possible, if it helps others by doing that.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, I should be continuing that.
Okay.
And praying for God's mercy for others.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's a good one. Thank you. Did you get any more?
No, because that was the first one, and then the second one was divine love, and then I kind of start trying to write my head around. So it's like, is that possible for me to ask for that for someone else? Or do
Yeah.
only is for yourself? But I know I feel like it is okay to still pray for that. So
Absolutely. It's your desire, your wish that Do you wish they could receive it? So that
I
is
just think,
your wish.
yeah, it's the most beautiful thing and the most transformative thing that you can
Yeah.
receive. Yeah.
Well, someday you could ask before meditation, you could ask, can you show me what happened when I pray for that? Can you show me what happens to the person, even though they're not receiving it right now? Can you show me what happens by my asking? And then go into a meditation and maybe you get shown what it looks like. What
Okay.
happens? Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot we don't know about this, about the power of prayer. Yeah, okay, thank you. And who wants to go next? Michaela, did you get a chance to explore the questions? Get some guides, answers? Yeah, don't worry. Jill, do you want to go?
Sure. I'll just put my head up. So my go-to is prayer. God either it's usually my go-to for when I see babies and I say, God send this baby some love. It's usually my go-to or dogs, or animals. Pretty much anybody. It's also my go-to prayer for like if I know that I'm in an addiction or my addiction's
Yeah,
not being met, I kind of said, please God send them some love because I can't right at the moment.
yeah.
So, right.
Did they give you other answers?
Yeah, and then I got one that was pretty good that that I never thought of before. So like I was kind of refining it, but God help their guides or send some love to their guides so they may be able to help them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was something I didn't really think of before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, now the thing is that in these questions, we're not, whatever it is that we've been doing, the point is to learn more about it. Like we're saying, here's what I have been doing, but is there something else I could be doing? Could you coach me, teach me what else I could be praying about? Because we have masters around us that could teach us so much that never crosses our mind. So we do have to be humble and kind of assume, I'm in preschool, there's a lot to learn. What else can you teach me about prayer? What could I be doing about prayers? What could I be praying for? It's a huge opportunity for our guides to mentor us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If we don't even know what to ask for, and all you have to do was ask, then that's the best question to ask. What could I be asking for? Casey?
I think a number of people have said some of these already, but to reiterate, please help. Usually it's about my clients
Yeah.
or family members receive some love in some way or be open to
Yeah.
receive some love, receive a message, receive hope, receive help, that sort of thing. And also truth, help them to be open to seeing, feeling the truth about whatever it is the situation is. I also have been noticing that I'll pray for this one. I noticed that I remember this more when it has to do with my clients about please help them feel or connect to what they don't want to feel, what their blocks are, what they're stuck with, those sorts of things. And then I also didn't think that this was praying for others, but my guides says it is. When I cry for others, when I just let
Yeah.
myself be emotional about whatever it is in that moment and
Yeah.
just let it out.
Absolutely. Michaela and I were having chat the other day, and I was talking about my block, about something, and Michaela started crying about what I was talking about. She was feeling grief for me, and after that conversation, I just went, something happened in that conversation. There's all these things happening for me right now. Like I could see my new guide, and all these things started to happen. But I knew she cried for me, and she didn't say anything. She just cried. But I could feel that in that moment, that was a prayer, and something started happening for me after. So Michaela?
Just listening to you guys, I realize I do have some answers. So just from when I do the sleepwalk visits, what I try to do is to just call in God as much as I am able to, and I have this sense of the person and any of the cracks that there might be in that person's armor, and just getting God in those cracks.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's how I kind of do it at the moment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm noticing that we're kind of stuck here. What I'm noticing is that we're minimizing our prayers. We're minimizing what we pray for others. So, ouch. So I would like to, I've created new questions. What happens when we pray for others? So you can pick a prayer. You can say, I'm always praying for people to receive God's love or truth or something. Pick the one prayer and then ask you guys to show you what happens when I do that prayer for people. God, please send your love to my family. What happens when I do that? Show me. Because I find that we're not, we're dismissing or minimizing ourselves and the power of our prayer, how much worth it has, the gift we're giving. We're not noticing the gift we're giving in our prayer. So let's ask that. Hopefully we can receive. If you're stuck, then ask, okay, say it's Virginia. You're like, I'm stuck in this question. Okay, guys, show me what happened when Casey does that prayer. Ask to see somebody else so that way you can say, well, what happens when Michael prays about somebody to understand their law of attraction? Show me what happens to them when they pray. What happens because of their prayer? So that, because sometimes it's too overwhelming to see what you've done in that moment. It triggers our what? You can ask about what happens when somebody else does it. A third party, because then you feel more willing to receive the answer. The wow factor. Okay. Are we good? Okay. Okay. Wow. That's all I got to say. Wow. By the way, I forgot to share my answers for what we could pray, what I could pray for people. I could pray, what would God like for them? How can they feel their guides? Oh, that's so emotional for me. I love that one. Please help them feel God's love. Please help them feel the truth about their issues. Please help them feel that they've got what it takes to work through it. These are some examples of prayers I could do for people. Okay, and I decided to ask what happens when Virginia pray for people. I decided to do like ask somebody else's. It was oh my God, so awesome. So I'm really excited to hear what everybody else got. Who wants to start? Casey, go ahead.
So because I minimized crying for others in that first
Good one.
one,
Good one.
I wanted to ask. I was like, okay, what happens?
Yes.
And I got a really vivid answer back, and I kind of had forgotten about this, but maybe 4 years ago, I met my I guess now sister-in-law on my like in-laws side of the family, and her first husband died of cancer. And when she was telling me about the story, I just started crying. They had 3 children together. She now has these 3 children by herself. Well, now with my in-law. But I just started crying, and I was shown how my crying affected her husband in the spirit world,
Wow.
and how it's allowed the kids to be more real with their grief.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
because they were there, and I
Oh,
basically was a complete stranger to them when I first heard this story. Like, it was our second or third meeting, I think.
yeah.
And the thing that I got to is it for her, I can't remember her name, her husband who has passed, but he got curious about why he got cancer in the first place. So I was like, oh,
Wow.
okay, I'm sorry.
Holy.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good. Good, good, good. Thank you. Okay. Others? Michaela or Virginia? Virginia, go ahead.
I just asked about what happens when I do pray for
Nice.
others to receive God's love and mercy. So I was actually shown more like something physically happens.
Wow.
And because
Okay.
I always think of like, oh, like, is it yet? I don't really know. Is it really doing anything? Like, because I haven't really asked and looked into it. So I kind of wonder sometimes, but not enough to do this. So I saw that others, like when I asked for them to receive God's love, I could see their hearts lighting up and like warmth, even if they're not aware that it's God's love, that they're feeling that warmth in their hearts.
Okay.
But then I felt it, like I was feeling God's love at the same time.
Uh-huh. Funny how it goes two ways.
Yeah. And it's the same, like when I pray for others to receive God's mercy, for their actions, and I just see like arms wrapping around them, like kind of like, oh,
wow.
I'm assuming that's God's arms and that's God's love, but something physically happens, which is, I don't know why I'm so surprised by that, but
what?
But I am.
It's our words, our low words stop us from wanting to see. Yeah. Wow. Boy, Virginia is unstoppable now. Watch it. Mercy's coming our way. Okay, thank you. All right. Michaela, do you wish to go?
Yeah, so I asked what happens when I pray for others to know God. And I got a bell is rung, curiosity is piked.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
The call is evermore. As the listener turns towards the bell and wonders and questions and engages, that bell, unbeknownst to them, is journeying closer to God. When they finally find the bell and turn fully open, desirous ears and eyes towards the sound, the bell will be in their creator's hands.
Woo. Wow.
Yeah, it's like this bell.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
That's yeah, beautiful. Thank you.
And I asked the question of Jill as well, and they said that it's more light turning on when Jill does it rather than a bell being rung.
It's different based on who's asking and their nature. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Jill, do you want to go?
I don't know. I must be just in a weird spot today. Because I really didn't get much, or I'm judging it, one or the other.
Which is why it's good to ask for somebody else. Like if you want, after we finish today, ask for somebody else. What happens when Michaela prays or whatever when Casey's praying? I asked for somebody else because I just knew I was gonna be blocked.
Yeah, and I tried.
Yeah.
I tried and I didn't get anything. Yeah. The only thing that I felt was that it just gives like kind of like what Michaela said, like it just gives an opening so their guides can step in, but that's
beautiful.
Yeah, that's about
and
it.
What Michaela saw for you was like it's like the light turns on when you pray for people. That's what they got. Thank you. Michael, do you wish to share? Yeah.
I was also a little blocked for that. So I felt like I am in a helpful mode. So what I felt was like concentric circles, and then I'm not in the front line, the closest circle, but I'm like a little bit out in a supportive role.
Yeah.
And like adding to it.
Yeah.
And the only emotion that I felt was appreciation. So
Okay.
I felt the answer came to me, the what I think is the answer came in an emotion, and it was appreciation.
Okay. So I ask what happens when Virginia prays for others to receive God's love. I could feel that Virginia she gets nervous about asking. I felt her anxiety, but then I also felt that when she prays for others to receive God's love, it's sincere and heartfelt. I could feel it. And that Virginia has this feeling that comes out of her that God is kind and God is considerate. And in this, Virginia was very patient and thoughtful. It was like, this is a very patient energy, opposite of what you're working through, which is impatience. And then what I saw was, if you remember the magnetic chorale in the book, do you remember in the chorale people are singing? And as they sang, this mist of colors started to form. And then it dropped in around the person they were praying for. And it dropped and it merged into their field. So when Virginia prays for people to receive God's love, I saw this mist that blankets the person, and it blends in and it lightens the load. And it was like a chime, and it had resonance, and it created faith. It had that quality of faith and resonance. There was this empathy of resonance, but it was also faith. And it was this beautiful mist of color that just sinks around that person and blankets them. Totally magnetic around. It was awesome. But it was very like, oh, that's Virginia praying. That's her prayer. That's her nature. You
Wow.
can feel it. Yeah.
I have to pray more.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God, it was awesome.
Every time we do this,
I volunteer.
I see the power of this. And sometimes you think, oh, I feel like I'm saying the same thing over and over again every night or every morning. And
yeah,
it
was totally magnetic chorale. Absolutely. It was beautiful. And it was like totally like, oh, that's Virginia. That is how she feels about God. And so that is what enters that person about God's quality. You feel that God is kind and God is thoughtful. Those are your feelings about God, and it enters the person in a colorful mist that blankets them. Just basically go read Magnetic Chorale in his book, Through the Mist, for anyone who's listening. That's what it's like. So, all right, folks. And you know what? You get blocked like that, just ask what happens when I pray or what happens when somebody else pray. Because by watching what happens to Virginia, I can now redirect it going, what happens when I pray? It must be like that. If that's what I do, that's very cool. Yeah. But it will have my qualities or whatever it is that I've developed faith in about God is what enters them. Power of faith too, right there. Okay, I hope this motivates each of us to keep experimenting with prayers and what it does. That's beautiful. Thank you. All right, I will see you in 2 weeks for the prayer group.